My name is Yusef, and welcome to part 51 of the American Show. Let us begin. So, Alpha Queen was sitting down on his couch and at his mansion, of course, and he was talking to his wife, who was giving themselves both coffee to drink to drink whilst they watched their favorite morning talk show that they haven't acquired yet, or ever, for some apparent reason that goes beyond people's understanding. Anyway, he was like, babe, um, I am very excited for my daughter to have her own talk show tonight. I can't wait to, I can't wait to see it, he says. And then she says, his wife says, me either. I'm very proud of her that she decides to work with us and you, mostly, because you know how she likes women a lot more than she likes men. So it was pretty, in my opinion, it was pretty bold of her and pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Bold of her and, for lack of a better word, tough for it must have been tough for her to do that. And then they both laugh. Anyway, so they talk more about her new show, and they were like, so we know that she doesn't really like men that much, and we don't, and we know that she's going to well, and we know that she's going to hate on them, on us, my gender, for years and for years and even for months because if I asked her to tone it down, then she would accuse me of, well, silencing her, which I don't want to do. And so I want to be careful with that. I want to know how to handle it, but I don't want to control her. And he says, well, she says, I know that you don't want to do that, and so don't. Like just see how far this goes, really. I mean, we already approved of the show. We already approved of the show, and the contracts has already been signed. The pay raise has already been raised up a lot more. Everything is ready to go, and to just shut it down now would be bad, obviously. And then he says, yes, I do agree with you on that one. But I just am worried that she's going to take it a little bit too far and people are going to get hurt. And then she says, I understand that, no problem. I totally do. I totally understand where you're coming from. And if it does if it does come to that point, we're going to have a conversation. But for right now, it hasn't. The show hasn't even aired yet, she says to him. And he says, you're right. I shouldn't be panicking that much. And then, and then, well, she shows up. She comes and, well, and then, she shows up. And then the daughter shows up, of course. She says, hi, fam. He says, "Hi, how are you?" And then she says, I'm very happy right now." And so she sits down and she noticed that the coffee is for two of them. Of course, they didn't know that she was coming on so on short notice, of course. And so she was like, um, "May I have a coffee too?" And then and then her and then her mom says, "No problem. I'll make sure to give it to you." And then she says, "No, I want him to. I want him to give it for me." And then and then well, and then he says, "No problem, no problem." And so that's what he did. He got up from his chair and made her some coffee and gave it to her, and they drank coffee together. Every one of them in that table, of course. And then he says, "Well, how was your day?" And then she says, "Well, so far it's been pretty good actually. I can't wait for tomorrow. I know that we are going to do some great business together, and I am working on my opening and closing musical numbers um for tomorrow's show. Hopefully, hopefully they're ready. Have you hired them yet?" And then and then he says, "Yeah, as as a matter of fact, I did hire them, and they're pretty nice. I like them a lot. You're in great hands." And then she says, "Great." So she so she drank her coffee. She says goodbye to her mom, goodbye to her dad, and then she left. They were after she left, they continued to have the conversation, and she says, "You know, I didn't I didn't quite like the way that she was treating you. I was perfectly ready to go get the coffee myself, and she just got here and she could have gone herself, but she just wanted to embarrass you for some apparent reason. She really doesn't like, she really doesn't like you, and especially you." He said, well, she says, and then Alfred says, "Yeah, Susan. I mean, yeah, Susan is a little bit out there, but she's my daughter, and I have to support her." And and then uh, and then his wife says, "Yeah, but do you have to support her to the point that you're her doormat? I don't know, that's a good idea." And then she says, I don't know if that's a good idea. I love you way too much for you to ever be that. You own a multi-million-dollar company, and you need to act like it. I'm sorry." And then he says, "I mean, she just is. I love her, you know. I want the best for her, and I don't want to jeopardize that by, being an asshole, or being an a-hole, I should say." He says, and she says, "I get it." And then he says, "Can we get off the conversation?" And then she says, "Fine by me." And then they continue to drink their coffee and watch TV together. To be continued. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, ring that little bell notification case you get notified. Comment down below what you like or hate about the video. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.